All right, we're looking at number 7 on the Angles 2 worksheet. We've got a nice diagram already drawn for us, so let's go ahead and fill in what we know. Angle BXC is 2x squared plus x, and angle FXE, 2x plus 10. So you ask yourself, what type of angles are those? What's the relationship? And hopefully you say vertical angles. Those are vertical angles. We know that vertical angles are always congruent every time, no matter what, no guessing. So since those angles are congruent, we are going to set their measures equal to each other. Equal, equal, equal. Now this is a factoring problem. I can tell it's a factoring problem because it's got an x squared and it's got an x. So we're going to bring everything over to the left side of the equation. So I can subtract 2x from both sides, and I'm going to write down here, I've got 2x squared, let's see, 1 minus 2, I'll give you a negative x, and if that's okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring the 10 over while we're at it. So this one we're going to have to factor a quadratic with a leading coefficient. So I'm going to put 2x and x. I'm going to go to the side and I'm going to brainstorm factors of 10, 5 and 2, 10 and 1. Now, since I have that leading coefficient, that 2, I get to double one of my factors, and I need to make a negative 1. I need to create a negative 1 somehow, that middle term. If I double 5, I get 10. Can I make a negative 1 out of a 10 and a 2? No. Okay, if I double 2, I get 4. Can I make a negative 1 out of a 5 and a 4? Yes. So I'm going to make sure that 2 gets doubled. 5 and 2 are my winners, but I want to make sure the 2 gets doubled. To make sure it gets doubled, I'm going to put it right here because a FOIL, that way the 2x will be multiplied by the 2. And the 5 was the other one, 5 and 2, 5 and 2. Now you ask yourself, would you like it to be 5 minus 4, or would you rather it be 4 minus 5? Since I want to produce a negative 1, I'm going to do 4 minus 5. So put the minus with the 5. Plus. Now the part that a lot of people neglect, we're going to set both of these equal to 0. Now this bottom one is pretty easy. Subtract 2 from both sides and you get x equals negative 2. This one you need to add 5 to both sides. 2x equals 5. And then you need to divide by 2. X equals 5 halves. So those are my two x values. Then you always need to make sure that when you plug it back in, they both work. So you get your calculator out, and it's looking for AXB. So we're looking for this one right here. So as I'm looking at that, I know if this angle, angle AXF, is 90, then the linear pair to that has to also be 90. So I know if I can find myself BXC, if I can find this one, then I can subtract it from 90 and I can find the angle I'm looking for. So let's take negative 2. If I plug negative 2 in, I get 4. 4 times 2 is 8, and then 8 minus 2 is 6. That makes this a 6-degree angle. If I plug negative 2 in here, I'm also okay. So this is one time where we don't throw out the negative answer. We don't. If I plug in 5 halves, I'm going to do 5 halves squared times 2 plus 5 halves. And I get 15. You make sure that it works here, but you plug it in and you realize it does work. So this problem is going to have 2 valid answers. So 6 and 15 are the degrees of this angle right here. So I need to find the complement of both of those. So I would do 90 minus 6. So one of my answers is 84. And I would do 90 minus 15. So one of my answers is 75. And those are the 2 possible measures of angle AXB.